Today we delve into a high-stakes international energy drama that goes beyond the automotive world. In this video, we'll explore how Canada's bold threat to cut off crucial electricity exports could reshape the US energy market and global trade ties. We'll examine the ripple effects in oil exports, tariff battles, and political power plays, uncovering the deep interconnections in our economies. Stay tuned as we break down every facet of this dramatic showdown. Number 7. The shockwave Canada's bold electricity cut threat. In a stunning move, Canadian leaders have warned they may sharply reduce or suspend electricity exports to key US states. States such as New York, Michigan, and Minnesota depend on nearly 95% of their power imports from Ontario. Such a cut could trigger soaring energy bills, grid instability, and even localized blackouts during peak periods. Analysts stress that this threat is not merely symbolic, but a strategic counter to US tariffs, leveraging energy as a bargaining chip. The move highlights the vulnerabilities inherent in an interdependent energy network, with potential ripple effects across manufacturing, technology, and other sectors. As US policymakers scramble for alternative solutions, this dramatic tactic may force a reassessment of energy policies and redefine trade negotiations between the two nations. This bold strategy could reshape North America. Number 6. Crude control, oil as a political lever. While electricity headlines steal the spotlight, Canadian oil exports are a crucial gear in the energy engine. The US relies heavily on Canadian crude, with pipelines like Keystone XL and Enbridge forming the backbone of its supply. Recently, about 6.1 million barrels per day have been imported, with roughly 67% coming from Canada amid rising US tariffs. Canadian leaders are hinting at a potential oil export cut, a move that could send oil prices surging. Even a temporary disruption might force industries to seek pricier alternatives, impacting everything from commuter fuel costs to industrial operations. This tit-for-tat maneuver not only underscores the interdependency of North American energy, but also highlights how a slight hiccup in oil exports can reverberate through global markets and long-term policy strategies. Number 5. Tariff turbulence, North American trade clashes. The escalating trade war between the US and Canada has become a battleground of tariffs, trade restrictions, and retaliatory moves fueled by America First policies favoring domestic production. The US has imposed sweeping tariffs on goods like steel, aluminum, and consumer products. In response, Canada, vital for energy, raw materials, and technology, has countered with proposals that may include restrictions on oil, electricity, and rare earth metals. These measures have created ripple effects across various sectors, raising prices, disrupting supply chains, and impacting energy security and automotive manufacturing. Market volatility and debates over economic sovereignty underscore the stakes. Amid this tension, one must ask, can North America balance protectionism with global interdependence for a sustainable trade equilibrium? Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Underneath tariff debates and political posturing lies a complex network of economic interdependencies binding the United States and Canada. American industries rely on a steady influx of Canadian energy and raw materials, from crude oil and natural gas to critical minerals like cobalt, nickel, and lithium that keep factories running, and power sectors like automotive and aerospace. In 2024, United States imports of Canadian energy products reached billions, underscoring that even a powerhouse like the United States cannot operate in isolation. However, this interdependence is a double-edged sword. While it fuels production, it also creates vulnerabilities during political tensions. Disruptions could trigger higher production costs, rising consumer prices, and lost global competitiveness. Thus, preserving stable, open trade is essential for sustaining innovation, industry growth, and economic stability in an interconnected world. Open trade fuels progress, and trade fuels. Economic dominoes are how trade disruptions impact industries and consumers. Tariffs and trade skirmishes send shockwaves well beyond boardrooms, affecting everyday consumers and industries alike. The United States, heavily reliant on Canadian energy exports from crude oil and natural gas to electricity, faces potential disruptions that force industries to scramble for costlier alternatives. Even minor hiccups can trigger production delays, soaring operating costs, and rising prices. This domino effect reaches all corners of the economy, from automotive manufacturing to essential services. When one component is delayed or priced higher, the ripple effect can lead to increased fuel costs and inflated product prices for consumers. Essentially, every tariff imposed risks jamming the economic engine, pushing us closer to widespread inflation and an overall slowdown. Diplomatic drifts are the strategic game of trade. Trade is a global chess match, and the United States and Canada are intensifying their political maneuvers to safeguard national interests. US policies boosting domestic production conflict with North America's interdependent economy, prompting Canadian leaders to leverage their role as key energy and raw material suppliers. Their countermeasures, such as potential electricity export cuts and discussions on oil restrictions, aim to pressure American decision-makers, challenging the US energy grid and forcing a reassessment of protectionist policies. These high-stakes moves ripple beyond economics, affecting border security, technology investments, and government contracts. Third parties like Mexico are watching closely. Overall, each diplomatic maneuver carries risks and rewards, shaping the long-term framework of international trade and security. In today's interconnected world, these moves underscore a fierce global contest. This rivalry is reshaping global power balances. Pricing and policy, impacting your wallet and the future. After exploring energy exports, tariffs, and political strategy, we now focus on how these factors hit your wallet. Disruptions in established trade can trigger immediate price swings. For instance, if Canada restricts its electricity exports, American households and businesses could face steep energy bills during peak demand. Likewise, limits on Canadian crude, crucial to US imports, might push up gasoline prices, affecting freight manufacturing and everyday goods. Tariffs on raw materials and consumer products add further cost pressures, potentially increasing vehicle prices and overall living expenses. Policymakers now face a balancing act, protecting domestic jobs while managing the realities of a globally interconnected trade network. Ultimately, these pricing and policy shifts shape both our economic stability and long-term growth. Final lap navigating the energy trade frontier. In summary, our journey has taken us from the explosive threat of cutting electricity exports to the intricate pricing impacts hitting your wallet. We've uncovered how energy dependencies, economic dominoes, and political power plays are reshaping the trade dynamics between Canada and the United States. The stakes are transformative, and the road ahead promises to be as dynamic as the engines we love. What are your thoughts on how these trade moves might affect the automotive world and your everyday expenses? Share your experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed this ride, be sure to subscribe for more vehicle updates and upcoming videos. Your insights helped drive our journey forward, fueling discussions and innovations in the automotive industry. Thanks for tuning in and riding with us at Piston Pundit. See you next time.